Welcome to the group chat. Anthony, Jacqueline, how was your weekend?
Oh, it's good. A lot of good things happening this weekend in personal, not about the news.
Yeah. So why don't we just go ahead? Let's jump into this. Topic right now: correspondence dinner. We knew something was going to be, up with the correspondence dinner. Just the way everything was shaping out. Who was going to be in attendance, and just what messaging, everything, how that was going to go. We were just anticipating something was it going to was going to go awry, and then I know it was Epstein protests at the same time. I guess wasn't expecting you know what happened to happen. Not trying to laugh at it, but it just something always seems awry. So it was a shooting. I guess what is in the lobby, of the
Yeah.
hotel.
Yeah.
Um, and then watching the video of just the way the cabinet and everything was moving. I don't know what I'm watching. I'm watching. The phones are on each one of them. Um, it's like I'm watching reality TV. Um, what's your thoughts?
Here's the thing. I get it. You know, his approval ratings are the lowest that they've been so far. And it feels like every time something is on him, there's another attempt on his life. Uh, Not to say that if there wasn't a shooting in the lobby, but it just feels like two things could be true. One, Secret Service is no good. This is the how many times is something trying to come close to him, and that there was a shooting in the lobby, right? Or was there a fake attempt, and it still makes the Secret Service look not good. Either way, we just don't look good.
Yeah, what I'm reading is that or what I've been watching some is that you know nobody was getting really searched or checked throughout the day. I read a report that the key cards, you didn't need a key card to move up and down the hotel lobby. That it was just kind of just free for all. The only security was right before you get in. And if that's the case, then yeah, you're right. That was really negligent. But the fact, it's hard to give this administration the benefit of the doubt. That so it's just sad that we're in a time where we don't know if that's actually was staged, if that's actually was real, and if I'm sure some people, like I've heard some people come out and they were terrified. I'm sure if you didn't know what was going on, I'm sure you were pretty terrified in there.
Hmm.
But it's just hard to 100% know. Okay, well, this is what happened, and that's crazy that there's times we're in that we would question whether this was something that was staged or planned. And the other thing that kind of makes it seem as if something's behind it is right after that, you come to a press conference and say this is why you need a ballroom. Um, really, was the ballroom got to do with that lack of security there? And then I think the DOJ at one sent letters out demanding the lawsuits be dropped, preventing the ballroom from being built. So this happens, and your first thing is, this is why I need a ballroom. Immediately, the letters come out for the lawsuits, and you say you're gonna do the correspondence dinner again. So, okay, did this and get everything you need, and now you're gonna have the big grandiose correspondence dinner again. So it's just hard, and then it's just draining when you watch some of the mainstream media just come out and just start to normalize certain things as far as his press conference when he just berating everybody right before that. Now it's like, oh, well, bring us together, and you wasn't there, you wasn't in the room, you wasn't this. It's true. Like you said, two things can be true. You could have been terrified if you didn't know what was going on, and it could have also been people who knew what was going on. So two things can be true, but you
Hmm.
can't question people being skeptical of certain things. when this is just, when there's been a lot of questionable things, happening. So,
Mhm.
like, that's one of the problems with me and some of the mainstream media is they always got to feel they got to be politically correct or something or this and that and normalize certain things that shouldn't be normalized.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you think about when's the last time he's attended one of these dinners? And then
Hmm.
now, you know, okay, now he attends and like he's got his cabinet, like you said, everybody's
Hmm.
there. There's cameras. And I get it, this for journalists, but everything was caught on camera. Like there's no, something like that happens and it's immediately we all get to see what happens in every angle and we get to see
Right,
everyone's
every
response.
angle, every
Yeah,
cabinet member,
right, we
every
get to see
angle.
everyone's response and everyone how terrified they were, which, like we talked about, two things can be true, but it just feels with this administration and just the way they operate, we don't know what's true and what's not, and that's
Yeah.
sad.
I mean, I'm a filmmaker, so you're supposed to have your camera on every subject and capture everything, so the content was captured. But I mean, we'll see how this continues to shape out. Again, it's I don't know. We'll see how everything shapes out. Another thing I wanted to touch on is as we get closer and closer to the midterms, it's been reports coming out about these bots and the pro-Trump bots. I think a survey by, let me see, research at Clemson University documented the first clearly known network that systematically uses large language models. It's the same AI technology behind ChatGPT to automatically reply to users and shape political conversations on X. What's your thoughts on that? And do you see a lot of that on social media?
I feel like I see a lot of it on social media. You can have people that they have they're very specific, the things that they say, and you notice, they
Hmm.
kind of repeat the same narrative. And then you go look at the account and they just opened, a few months ago and they're based out of a different country. They're not even based out of US. Um, I feel like it's a very targeted narrative before the midterms, like you said, just to push their agenda. That's what it seems
Hmm.
like to me.
Yeah, because it also, as when we go back to 2024, when it said Trump was seeking a black vote, I mean, it was fake AI generated images depicting Trump surrounded by black voters, a lot of fake accounts, pro Trump. And now, as we ram up for the 2026 midterms, it's like it's exploding. It's exploding. I mean, you see them, they're responding, they're posting. It's black, it's brown, yeah, it's all over. I definitely see them all the time. Definitely have been hit with a lot of them.
Hmm.
Um, and it's also where Trump signed executive order that undermine like the state level AI regulations. So there's not many guardrails. So as we ramp up, everyone just be expected to see a lot. I think
Hmm.
I think some of the ways they say to kind of watch out for them is watch out for the accounts that only post one or two topics repeatedly.
Hmm.
They create large batches around the same dates. Profiles with generic patriotic imagery but no personal history. Accounts that reply to bigger accounts rather than posting original content. Posts that suddenly break and reveal AI generated text. So, we see those, just kind of, block them and just continue because they're going to continue to push out as we move forward and try to, show pro Trump or misinformation. So everyone
Yeah.
has to really get ready for that.
I think it's really unfortunate because we have all of this AI generated content, right? Which is, could be true, not true. It's, propaganda. And then you can't trust the mainstream media because there's a monopoly happening, right? So you only have one side controlling the mainstream media. So how do we protect ourselves against that, right? Like that's something that we could talk about going forward is how do people protect themselves? What do you look out for, right? Because how do you know what's true and what's not? Like the stuff is, it seems accurate. I see photos sometimes and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And then you realize, wait a minute, that's not true. That's AI.
Hmm.
So I think that's the real scary part.
Right, right. Yes, we'll keep out on that. I keep an eye on that, and as we continue to move forward, and As we wrap up tonight, the NBA playoffs are still in full effect. I guess we'll see in the next couple of days who's moving on to the next rounds. There's some teams up. The Thunder up 3-0. Knicks and Hawks are tied 2-2. Minnesota up 3-1 on Denver, but Minnesota has some key injuries. Just Ant-Man and the other guy, Chinko, maybe pronouncing his name wrong. Tired tonight, but out with a torn Achilles. Let me see. The Cavs and Raptors are tied 2-2. San Antonio up 3-1. Celtics up 3-1. So, that might have started off a little bit, but it's getting a little exciting. It's getting exciting on my end. WNBA preseason started, so season coming up. So, a lot of fun basketball action happening now. So, I'm looking forward for that this week and continuing on for the next few weeks. Well, that's all for this week's group chat. We'll see you again next week. Until then, like and subscribe.